As we formalize our study of markets, let's first focus on the buyer side of the market, and we're going to do that by modeling consumer demand for a good or service. Consumer demand, by consumer demand, what we mean is a relationship between the market price of the good or service and the quantity that consumers want to buy at that market price. And we might be talking about one person's individual demand. Typically in this unit, we're going to be talking about the demand of all the buyers in the market for this product. And it's not, we focus on the relationship between price and quantity demanded because we believe that price is a very, very important signal to buyers about their ability to obtain the good or service in question. Other things matter too, and I've got a later screencast coming where I talk about how we model changes in other things besides price. But price is really the single most important determinant of many market decisions. In fact, this course is called price theory at a lot of schools. So to study market demand, we use a graphical framework, and I'm going to turn to a blank page here so I can walk you through how we do that. So to model market demand, we have a set of axes, x and y axes. Now let me make a smaller pen. We always talk about price on the vertical and quantity on the horizontal. Doesn't always make sense. You'll see I'll talk about the quantity demanded as the dependent variable here, and usually that goes on the y-axis, but quantity is always on the x-axis. Price is always on the y-axis. Now let's think of what market we're going to talk about. I've been spending a lot of time at Home Depot. Let's talk about the market for milled lumber. And we'll talk about price in terms of dollars per board feet. And we'll talk about quantity as, this is going to be the whole market for the U.S. in 2014, say. And it'll be million board feet per year. And then, so we have this XY space. If price is really high, I'm just going to say P naught. I used to know pretty closely what the price of a board foot of at least unmilled lumber was, but I have no idea right now. So some high price, we're going to find some fairly low quantity demanded, because at that price maybe you'll build with bricks or cinder blocks or something else. But as price falls, we see that, well, the relationship between price and the quantity demanded, we believe, is an inverse one. That as price falls, consumers want more and more. If price falls further, and more. So the demand curve tells us at an infinitude of points the relationship between the price of a good and the quantity demanded at that price. And so really in the market we only typically ever see one price, but the demand relationship tells us it's often what we imagine to be there, but we don't observe it directly, because if we've got a stable price, we'd only ever see one price. But the demand is the relationship between every single possible price and the quantity demanded at that price. Why do we think demand slopes down? Well, there's a few reasons. One thing about your own self, if they were given away, I don't know, Lexus, I don't even know what a model name of a Lexus is, but if they were giving them away brand new, we'd all want one, right? And we'd have a big quantity demanded. But if they cost $50,000, well, only people that have a fair amount to devote to buying a car can buy one. To be a little more specific, we talk about a downward sloping demand curve for several reasons that I'll summarize here. One is the substitution effect. As price goes up, people will find other things, other products that could provide the utility that the product in question might otherwise provide. So if milled lumber got real expensive, people would say, okay, I'm going to have to build with steel and cinder blocks, whatever, but not lumber. As it gets lower, well, then the people that were building with steel and cinder blocks, et cetera, will say, oh, okay, I'm going to use milled lumber instead. It's cheap. So as the price changes, there's the substitution effect. Income effect. It's something different. If something you buy becomes cheaper, well, then you effectively have more money to spend on that and other goods. And that means as price falls, you will also be inclined to buy more if it's a normal good, right? If it's an inferior good, you'll buy less. And then finally, the most subtle point, as price falls, more and more people will find that the product in question is sold at a price below their reservation price. Remember, we defined in today's class the buyer's reservation price as the most I'm willing to pay. Well, if I'm not going to buy a board feet of lumber, or if it's anything more than $10, well, then if the price is 11, I'm out of the market. But if the price falls to 9, okay, well, I'm looking to buy some lumber. If the price falls to $8 per board foot, well, then other buyers are in as well. So the fact that as price falls, more buyers are in the market because the price comes to be lower than their reservation prices. As the price rises, the opposite is true. People leave the market. So all these effects lead to this downward sloping demand curve. In fact, the law of demand we talk about, the price goes up, quantity demanded goes down. Law of demand simply states the demand curve is downward sloping.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.